Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to officially call this meeting of the Mayor and Council to order. I'd ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and or reflection. Please salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please note fire exits behind you into the parking lot, and to my left, your right, into the main hallway. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall, and notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. At this time, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilman Samuelson. Here. Councilman Sarafi Hurley. Present. Council President Duffy. Here. Councilman Grotzky. Here. Councilman Seymour. Councilwoman Grant. Here. Mayor Petrino.
Here. Let the record reflect that Councilman Seymour is on vacation. Okay, first item of business tonight is a few appointments. I would ask for a motion to appoint Justin Hicks as Zoning Board Alternate 1 and Anne Marie Ruiz Pollock to Zoning Board Alternate 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. May I get a motion to appoint Nicholas Sinian to Fire Company Number 1 and Dylan Walgreach to Fire Company Number 1?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The next group would be Jaden Cedeno, Junior Firefighter Auxiliary, and Logan Campogna, Junior Firefighter Auxiliary.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, I have the applications here.
Thank you.
Please pass these to our administrator.
I just want to say thank you very much and good luck to all of our volunteers.
Thanks.
Under unfinished business, may I get a motion for the approval of the minutes for the June 26, 2023 work and closed session meetings?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have one ordinance up for adoption tonight. That would be 2023:25, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I'd ask you to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $505,000 for the undertaking of the Main Street Improvements Project from River Road to Boulevard, in by and for the Borough of New Milford, in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a state grant and from the Capital Improvement Fund of the Borough.
Okay, as I mentioned at the introduction, the purpose of this ordinance is to appropriate funds from a state grant from the New Jersey Department of Transportation and the Capital Improvement Fund of the Borough for improvements to Main Street, consisting of milling and paving of Main Street from River Road to the Boulevard, accessible curb ramps, and crosswalk markings to promote pedestrian safety. At this time, may I get a motion to open up to the public for a public hearing on this ordinance?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing that there are no members of the public present, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
Motion. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilman Samuelson.
Yes.
Councilman Sarafi Hurley.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
I'd just like to say I'll be working with Ms. Cahill, in trying to relocate some of the adopted spots on Main Street, and I believe we'll be successful in finding other places to relocate those wonderful little gardens. So yes. What's that?
My backyard's available.
Yes. Okay, send me your address.
Councilman Brodsky? Yes. Councilwoman Graham?
Yes.
Moving on to new business, we have a few ordinance introductions tonight. The first one being 2023:26. When the clerk has the opportunity, I'd ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Milford entitled Administration, thereby amending subsection 2-20.6 entitled Fire Department, and further entitled Qualifications for Membership.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to amend the qualifications for membership in the Milford Fire Department to be consistent with the New Jersey State Firemen's Association. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
So moved. Second.
Make it a roll call.
Yes. Councilwoman Samuelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Starkey Hurley?
Yes.
Council President Duffy?
Yes.
Councilman Brodsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Graham?
Yes.
The public hearing on this ordinance will take place at our August 28th meeting, which will be here before we know it.
Sadly.
Yes.
Don't enjoy some.
Next one is 2023:27, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled Police Regulations, establishing Section 3-15 entitled Parking of Motor Vehicles by Certain Motor Vehicle Establishments.
The purpose of this ordinance is to limit parking of motor vehicles by certain commercial motor vehicle establishments, making it unlawful for any commercial motor vehicle establishment to park, store, idle, or otherwise maintain on any public street any inventory vehicle or shop vehicle. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Samuelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Starkey Hurley?
Yes.
Council President Duffy?
Yes.
Councilman Brodsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Graham?
Yes.
This ordinance will also be at our August 28th meeting. Okay. 2023:28. The clerk has the opportunity. I'll ask you to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled General Licensing, thereby amending subsection 4-15 entitled Towing and Storage.
The purpose of this ordinance is to amend the fee to apply for a towing license and the fees permitted for towing and storage as recommended by the New Milford Police Department. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Samuelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Starkey Hurley?
Yes.
Council President Duffy?
Yes.
Councilman Brodsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Graham?
Yes.
This ordinance as well, the public hearing will be at our August 28th meeting. And the last one for the evening is 2023:29, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask you to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 10 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled Building and Housing, thereby amending subsection 10-9 entitled Submission Requirements for Construction of Residential Buildings.
The purpose of this ordinance is to help ensure compliance with the plans, specifications, requirements, land use board resolutions, and developer agreements that serve as the basis for the issuance of construction and other permits. The goal is to eliminate construction techniques which result in the erection of non-conforming buildings and structures. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Samuelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Starkey Hurley?
Yes.
Council President Duffy?
Yes.
Councilman Brodsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Graham?
Yes.
We are going to have a busy night at our August 28th meeting.
Yes.
Before we move on to the bullet points, I'm going to ask for a motion to add an item to close. It will be called the Milford Swim Club Legal Advice. May I get a motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, item number 1, Main Street Improvements Project Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, we just introduced an ordinance for the funding of the Main Street Rehabilitation Project. This was for a 2023 Local Transportation Project Fund grant, and the scope of the projects from River Road to the Boulevard and includes milling, paving, stamped concrete side crosswalks, ADA ramps, sidewalks, trees, street lights, and accessories. The original construction estimate that came in was for $545,000, it's $545,709, which was the amount that we requested in the grant. $71,000 of that was a 15% contingency that was added to the estimate. We received $470,000 in grant funds, which was just under the total construction amount less the contingency. In addition to the construction costs, there's between $100,000 and $120,000 in engineering, design, and construction administration, depending upon the final scope of the project. We just allocated $505,000 in this ordinance, which covers the engineering and most of the construction, less the street lights, which were estimated at $77,000, and some of the trees, which were estimated at $33,000. We're planning to split the project into a base bid with alternates, understanding that we will probably not be able to include the street lights and trees with the current funding. Tonight on the agenda, we have a resolution 2023-169, which is from the Madison Avenue Improvement Project, which has been abandoned due to the issues that we had with the DOT and the DEP. And we have been able to work out an alternative solution for Madison Avenue with the help of the county. So by canceling that ordinance, we're returning $90,750 to our capital improvement fund tonight. And we had a meeting with the engineer discussing the possibility of being able to do the full scope of the project to include the lights and the trees if possible. And I wanted to ask if the governing body is willing to reallocate the 90 that we're returning to the capital improvement fund in order to complete the Main Street project as it was initially contemplated.
Does anyone have any questions?
I just want to say I'm in favor of it. I think Main Street is starting to look really good, and we should do the project the right way.
I'll second that.
I agree. Yes.
I think we all agree on that. Main Street is a major hub in town. It has come a long way, and let's put it over the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I have a question about trees, though. Is it replacement or is it new?
we're only going to be replacing. There's a possibility that some may need to be removed with the rehabilitation. I don't know if that's the case, but there's a possibility. And there are some that are in need of replacement. So it's not like a full scale, it's only where needed.
Okay. But we will maintain the amount that was initially planted.
We're going to maintain the amount or possibly add a few, depending on.
That's great. Thank you.
So in order to achieve this, I'm going to introduce, I'll draft an ordinance for introduction to allocate the additional funds at our next meeting.
Excellent.
May I ask one question? You say accessories, so is that including garbage cans? And
Yes.
benches?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else about Main Street? Okay. Item number 2, DPW logo, Grotsky.
Thank you, Mayor. You've all received in your mail a new logo design for the DPW, which I think we should adopt. Is there anybody who has a problem with that design? Speak now or never hold your peace.
Originally had Ira's face on it, we took that off.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I'd just like to say thank you for listening and redesigning. I think it's It's going to look great on the trucks, the flags, etc. And it represents all of us.
I think the DPW did a good job.
They did. They did.
Okay. Item number 3 is metal detecting ordinance Trino. So everyone was sent a copy of a sample metal detecting ordinance. This is an ordinance that I was introduced to while I was at my historic Newbridge Landing meeting. It's an ordinance that they are recommending. TNEC is in the process of doing a similar thing, and I believe River Edge is as well. The Newbridge area has an issue of people metal detecting and, worse than that, digging. They're treasure hunting, looking for muskets and George Washington's hat or whatever.
Gold coins.
Gold coins, absolutely. Pirate booty. I had spoken to our borough attorney about it, seeing if it was something we need because we don't have a real metal detecting problem, and he brought up 2 interesting points. One is that we are losing one of our historic homes to Blue Acres sale. So this would protect that from people digging on that property looking for historical artifacts. It also gives some more protection to our French Huguenot Historic Cemetery, which even outside the fence on our property, it's not fenced in, is available, it's a site that could potentially be dug up. This is an ordinance that would only prevent those metal detecting and digging on public property and borough property. This in no way affects anyone's personal property. You can metal detect and dig all you want, as long as you call PSNG, hit a line and move down. So it's up for discussion. So if you guys have any thoughts or comments on metal detecting and digging on our property, now is the time.
I've watched metal detectors at work, people doing that, and it's very interesting. They came to my house a few years ago, a group that's located in Maywood. They found some interesting trinkets, but they did it, and they did replace the holes that they dug up. But I do think that's an important protection to have for the borough's property.
Kevin, the only thing that I wanted to mention was that I didn't see in the draft ordinance any reference to the fact that this was limited to borough property or public property.
We will do that. We want to get the council's view of it, and then we'll submit it for adoption. I didn't touch it. It was just the example sent by Newbridge Landing. And the biggest concern I had is the cemetery, because we have a duty to preserve that, and it may extend beyond the fence, so that's problematic for a lot of reasons.
Anyone else? I'm in favor of it.
This would have nothing to do with Board of Ed property. Probably with Board of Ed, just the...
Well, in theory it does, because that's public property, but we don't regulate the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed regulates its own property, so they can certainly choose to adopt it. We'll have it on the books if the council wants to go forward with it, and they can take similar action should they desire to do so.
Okay. So we could have something up for introduction in this meeting.
Yep.
Okay, item number 4, schedule updates. If I left anything out, I'm sure you'll remind me. Okay, this Wednesday, July 26th, is Movies in the Park, sponsored by Milford Recreation. This is the last movie of the summer. It starts at dusk. The movie is Top Gun Maverick, which was pretty fantastic, so I think we're going to get a great turnout. And it takes place at Knights Field. On Tuesday, August 1st, is National Night Out, sponsored by the New Milford Police Department. It is from 7 to 10 p.m. Fireworks will start around 9:45. Let me repeat that. Fireworks will start around 9:45. We are also expecting a huge crowd for this. This takes place on Kennedy Memorial Field, like it did last year. For more information, you can go to the PD or the borough's website, or just keep on top of social media. And just one thing I wanted to clear up, it's been the same process every year. If any organization wants a table, you should let Officer Wester know. But on the day of the event, you just go down to the field around 2 o'clock. You just put your name on a piece of paper and just tape it to the top of the table. The tables are first come, first serve. So that's how you reserve a table. On Sunday, September 17th, will be the 2023 Northern New Jersey Walk for Apraxia. It's sponsored by Apraxia for Kids Foundation. I don't have the exact time yet, but it will take place at the high school football field/track. For more information, you can go to apraxiakids.org. And this event is also going to have some food trucks and other vendors there as well. I'm joining the team, so if anybody wants to sponsor me going around in the circle, I'm open to it. On Friday, September 29th, there will be a New Milford Lantern Tour and Storytelling event sponsored by the New Milford Historic Preservation Commission. The tour will start at 7 p.m. It'll take place at the French Huguenot Cemetery. For more information, you can go to the borough's website or social media. The Lantern Tour will start at 7, and then it'll be followed by some spooky stories, Bergen County history mysteries. On Saturday, October 7th, is Clean Communities Day, sponsored by New Milford Clean Communities and the New Milford Environmental and Energy Commission. It'll take place from 9 to 12. It'll be at the DPW, and for more information, borough website and other social media outlets. On Sunday, October 15th, will be Fire Awareness Day, sponsored by the New Milford Fire Department. I don't have the exact start time yet. We will get that. It's going to be in a new location this year. It'll be at the Knightsfield parking lot, right off of Chiquino. So in between ShopRite and the high school. For more information, you can go to the borough's website, the fire department's website, check their Facebook pages, and their rain date is October 22nd. It usually starts at like 10, right? Like 10 to 2 or something, but if we can get the exact thing, this way we throw it on the website. Is there any events upcoming that I missed?
Can we talk about adventures now, or
Later.
It starts a little later than
Later?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like 12 to 4
I
or
think
something
that's,
like that.
that's fishing derby?
I don't have a date or time on that, so I'm waiting. Yeah, the annual fishing derby, I don't have any details on that yet, but once we get that, we will absolutely put that on the website and get it out there.
When you get any news to the ad?
Same thing. Okay, we'll move on to item number 5, which is the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item was to let everybody know that originally Fire Awareness Day was on a different date, and the date's been changed to October 15th, which the mayor just reported. In June, the governing body passed a resolution to pursue a .gov domain for borough emails and the website, and the request has been approved, so we will be transitioning all of our borough email addresses to the @newmilfordnewjersey.gov and the website to www.newmilfordnewjersey.gov. We're working with our IT people to assist with the transition, and both the .com and .gov email addresses will still continue to work. But going forward, once that's the transition's made, you should put that out as your email address.
Because eventually that will shut off.
It will, actually, yeah. But we're always going to maintain the ownership over it so nobody can.
Right.
Engineering update, the NJDOT culvert project, we did submit a scope change to the DOT to request a reallocation of the granite to mill and pave Steuben Avenue north of Newbridge Road. The DOT advised that the project would not score as high as the culvert project, so it would not be approved. They suggested reapplying under the local area infrastructure fund and said it would likely get preference. The engineer is preparing an estimate for the application. NJDOT Boulevard and graphic traffic signal, we had a pre-construction meeting on July 13th. Everything, with the exception of the installation of the traffic light, will be completed in August. There's going to be some modifications to the curbs on both Boulevard and graphic, and they're going to do all the underground electrical work. But the signal equipment has a long lead time, so all of that's going to be done in August, and we're tentatively scheduling the installation of the signal equipment in November or December, depending on when it's received. Once it is in, the installation takes approximately 3 weeks, during which time the intersection will be closed during business hours while they're working, and the blinking light's going to remain until it's finalized. NJDOT Municipal Aid Cedar Road, a resolution to award the project is on tonight's agenda. The tax map update, which we're doing in advance of our townwide revaluation. The engineers received some comments from the state, and they are working on addressing all of those comments. Prospect Park basketball court lighting, the lead time for the lights is 12 weeks. We're anticipating installation in November. Prospect Park playground, the lead time for the equipment is 7 weeks. Demo and clearing are going to be completed by the DPW in August, with the installation anticipated for September. Whitehall Road resurfacing, which is a community development grant from River to Pacific. The project is in design and is scheduled to be completed by the end of July, and we're intending to go out to bid in August and hopefully getting that done in time to award at our August 28th meeting. And the Main Street project, the funding ordinance is being adopted tonight, and the design is going to be authorized upon adoption of the funding ordinance, and we're going to do a supplemental ordinance for the balance of the project. The Finance Committee met today for our third quarter finance meeting. I'm happy to report that the revenue and expenditures are on track for the year, and our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 28th. Once again, we only have one meeting in the month of August. That's it for me. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Is there any questions for the administrator? Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the resolutions? Are there any that need to be pulled for further discussion and or vote? Okay. Let me get a motion to file committee reports with the borough clerk to be spread on full minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Let's go around real quick. Let's start with Councilwoman Grant.
Thank you, Mayor. As you may know, the Milford has been working with an organization called Arts Urban to have 3 artists paint 3 benches in 3 different sections of town. There will be a bench with a theme of fishing at Hardcastle Pond. There will be a bench painted, it's called The Spirit of New Milford, and another one called Stream of Consciousness, To Read is to Dream. That one, of course, will be at the library. The Spirit of New Milford will be at Sutton Place. And the artists will start painting their benches on National Night Out Day, August 1st. They will start around 3:30 in the afternoon and go into the evening. If they're not finished after that, they will continue to work at the DPW in the following weeks. The Spirit of New Milford, which was designed by Fiona Chenkin, will ask for public participation. So people who stop by can put their handprints on there or their signatures or some other indication that they are part of New Milford. So it will be a public participation project to show the spirit of New Milford. And it should be a very exciting event, a very colorful event, and I hope everybody comes and participates. The other 2 artists I should mention, the Something Fishy is by Emily Gilman Beasley, and Stream of Consciousness / To Read is to Dream is by somebody named Shani. So the artists will all be there, but you'll be able to watch the artists paint, you get make their creations, as well as participate in one of them. So it should be a very exciting event. It will be held down by the playground in that area.
Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing those benches.
Should be fun. And I thank the DPW for their work, for priming the benches, for getting them ready for this event.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, what?
What color is what?
Bench is supposed to be painted.
Whatever the artist designed.
I thought maybe they were going with the colors of the town.
It'll be designed. No,
Okay.
not necessarily. I mean, I hope it's not just.
No, I'm sure they're going to be very colorful.
I've seen
Right.
the proposed designs, and they are very colorful. Kind of like Councilwoman Samuelson's shirt.
The Spirit of New Milford bench
Spirit
is
of New
definitely
Milford
going to be
bench.
colorful like that. That artist
It
has
will be
this
fun.
spirit. And each one will be unique, and I think they will highlight each location that they're in. So I think it will be a nice, fun addition. Yeah, it's been a fun
Absolutely.
project to work on.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Councilman Groth?
Thank you, Mayor. As our administrator has mentioned, the Finance Committee has met today, and things are going along smoothly and as planned. I don't have any updates to our recycling and garbage because those numbers haven't been submitted yet to the DPW. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President Duffy?
Thanks, Mayor. Let's see, for the Health Department / Register report for June, we had 0 births, 10 resident deaths, 10 marriage licenses, which the governor has waived fees until July 1st. This is all June reporting. 142 death certificates, 6 cats and dogs, licenses. And the health inspectors continue to do their inspections and enforcement. They also continue with the coordinate with the zoning officer and MPD and the property maintenance officer on emergent as well as habitual offenders. The board did not meet in June. Their next meeting is September 14th. Under the fire prevention and fire official, their second quarter report, 27 life hazard use state inspections were made, 7 multiple dwelling inspections, which includes 138 units, and there is a report of 1 structure fire where there were no injuries reported, and at this time all inspections are up to date. Lastly and lengthy, the New Milford Fire Department June report. They answered 2 CO detector alarms, 7 alarm malfunctions, 1 mutual aid, 3 natural gas odor, and their man hours were 239 and a half. The department to date has done well with recruitment this month with our new firefighters and firefighter auxiliary members, as you have seen from the appointments tonight. Their education and training continues. NFD took delivery of a 16-foot, not inch, tunnel hull boat for use during flood and rescue operations. This essential addition comes at no cost to our residents by way of a New Jersey state legislative grant with full support from our Senator Joseph Lagana. And that's my report.
And the fire department numbers were from June, right?
Yes.
Next month. They've been so busy in July with CO calls. It's crazy. So
Why do you think? Why?
I believe it's the humidity. We've had some really humid days and it was setting them off.
The alarms are going off constantly.
Right. I can't wait to hear the number in
I would
next month.
Yep. Thank you.
And we thank them as always.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor. To add to the spooky night, the full moon, that we're having at the cemetery, we're also going to have a lantern tour around the cemetery. We'll have lanterns going around it, and that should start around 6:45. The reading probably around 7. 3 stories. I have to say one name, Oiling Oliver. I have to. He was a gentleman from,
Don't tell.
oh, all right, I won't say it.
These are all stories that were printed in the Bergen Evening Record
Correct.
back in the day. So it's going to be fun.
Back in the 30s.
Is there anything else?
No, I believe that's it. Thank you.
Thank
There'll
you.
be 3 stories, like I said.
Sorry. Did you go over the ordinance?
Lorraine and... Yes. Yeah. They went over everything. I was clarification.
Just to supplement, we met Councilwoman Sarachi Hurley, myself, and Nancy Verantoni went over the historic ordinance for the commission, and just with some additions, and they were going to get back to us on it, and that should be, I would think, August we might be able to introduce it.
I think possibly August, and that's what they did it last month. Got together.
So we're targeting before September. We're targeting either August or September.
Will that include an updated list of historic
Yes,
homes?
that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandy.
Thank you, Mayor. The Green Team and the Environmental and Energy Commission have been preparing and looking forward to participating in National Night Out. The Environmental and Energy Commission will be featuring information about the environmental resource inventory and the native plant garden, so people can come up to the table and meet the commission and learn about those important initiatives. And the Green Team will have some fun giveaways and, fun giveaways. Everyone loves the giveaways. And they will be doing some public education and introducing a Trex program, which is the Trex collection program. So they're wanting to start a community collection program with Trex. And what this does is it supplements plastics recycling. So this is all the recycled items all the plastics like your bread bags. They're going to do some education about those kind of things. That collection gets a bench. So they're going to be trying, introducing that at National Night Out. So.
Cool.
It's a bench.
Yeah, so the Trex program has a competition, so if you collect with it a certain amount of poundage within a certain amount of time, you qualify for a bench.
Okay.
They make benches out of the collected plastic.
Oh,
And that's all I have for this evening.
Excellent. I only have two quick things. One is that under recreation, they are working on securing a volleyball net, and we were looking to put a volleyball net next to the basketball courts where we used to have one. So there'll be a little area for volleyball because we've been getting a lot of requests for volleyball. And the other thing is, last year at the League of Municipalities, I had stopped by the booth for the New Jersey Fish and Game, and I had mentioned to them that we would be interested in getting our pond stocked with fish. They asked me a bunch of questions, didn't hear anything, and then they had reached out, I believe, to the DPW months and months and months ago, had a little conversation. But about a week and a half ago, representatives of Fish and Game came down to our pond, they did an inspection, they took a bunch of water for tests, and if all goes well, I believe we're on the list for some restocking, which would be great news. And they were very impressed with our aerators.
really?
Yes.
With the what?
Our aerators that we have.
The aerators.
So we lucked out. We had them, usually the turtles bite them, grab them, they're down, but we must have just repaired them right before they came, so it works out. And that's all I have.
That's great.
Yes. At this time, I would ask for a motion to open to the public for public comment.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing that there are no members of the public present, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? May I get a motion to approve resolutions 2023:163 through 2023:182?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into closed session. Are we taking any action after closed? This one? No. We will not be taking any action at a closed session. We will be immediately adjourning this meeting. So before I ask for a motion to go into closed session, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you continue to enjoy the summer, and we hope to see you at National Night Out and at the movie on Wednesday. So be there. May I get a motion to go into closed?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Have a great night.
Fine.